Hey everybody, this is Kenny C here. Getting ready to start off Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, and it looks like I'm going to be on my own because Jeff has a power outage in San Diego, and I just finished filling in for him doing his own show, so now I'm doing the wrestling show solo. So just trying to get everything set up, and we shall begin. Um, yeah, we're just gonna skip over there. Says I had to skip everything because now I got to get the wrestling show up and running. So I just did 30 minutes of the sports show talking about NFL and stuff, and now I'm doing this show. So it should be very cool. Very cool. Good show coming up. Plenty of stuff to talk about. WWE Impact. No surrender. Should be fun. Should be lots of fun. Gotta love this Sam broadcaster, man. I can talk in the background. Nobody can hear me. And we have a dev joining us in the chat room. So I'm gonna say, and welcome. What's going on, Dev? Dev is joining us in the chat room. A DEV. So sit tight. Stay tuned. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio will be up and running coming soon. It's coming up live, so just hang in there with me. Hang in there. That's all I can say. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. Man, it sucks doing the show solo sometimes. What you gonna do? Alright, so with that said, here we go. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You're listening to us right here on itmiradio.com. I go by the name of Kenny C, just finishing filling in for the Rap Bastards Sports Show because Jeff was unable to do the show due to power outage in San Diego. So I just finished doing 30 minutes talking about the NFL, and now I gotta talk 55 minutes of wrestling. So if you put that together, that's 90 minutes that you're hearing from me here on ITMI Radio. It's good. It's real good. But I want to thank everybody for that listened to the Web Bastard Sports Show, talked about the NFL game at hand. I want to say hello to Dev, DEV. I say you're a first-time listener of Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Thank you, and welcome to the show. We have a Bumblegoo joining us as well. Thank you for listening as well. For the first-time listeners, this is a wrestling show. We talk about WWE, we talk about Impact, and we just focus on all things wrestling, just to tell you the truth. So I hope you enjoy what you're about to hear. Let's go ahead and get to the WWE portion of the show. I do want to start out with the first topic. Kevin Nash, according to WWE.com, has been released by the WWE. The WWE saying these days, you've been forever endeavored. Now, there's a lot of talk about what's going on with Kevin Nash. Is this release really legit, or is this just a storyline angle? Well, according to PWInsider.com, they are saying that it is a storyline. It's part of the storyline. So who knows if he's really released or not. But when it's posted on the WWE, it actually happens. I mean, Kevin Nash only been coming back for about a month or two. getting involved with CM Punk and Triple H. Nash was at Raw this past Monday night, trying to get into a confrontation with CM Punk. Now, he was originally scheduled to compete against CM Punk at Night of Champions, but that ended up not happening due to Kevin Nash, according to reports, was not medically cleared to compete. Where after the news broke loose that he was released, Kevin Nash set the record straight on his Twitter page. He said he passed his physical exam with flying colors and that he was good and ready to go. Now, he wouldn't explain why why he got pulled from the match of United Champions against CM Punk. Exactly why you got, if he did not explain why that he really got pulled from the match. If he said he was medically cleared to compete, to be in matches and such. He didn't explain that, and Nash made it clear he's not going to explain any further. So who knows if this is the last we're going to hear from Kevin Nash or not. We'll wait and see next Monday night on Monday Night Raw Super Show. So I hope that this Super Show is just only temporarily, because it is a Raw show, and from my understanding, I don't see the Raw Superstars getting in SmackDown shows every single week. So why should SmackDown be in Raw show when Raw's not on SmackDown? As far as Superstars and Divas is concerned, I'm hoping that this Super Show thing is only temporarily, not gonna go for the last 4 months of the year. Who knows? But it's what they doing right now, and that's what they sticking to it. Other things that has happened, Triple H has made it clear to CM Punk that his feud with CM Punk is personal. It is personal between the two. After all, he has talked about his family, his wife, him being in charge. And if you are a Triple H fan, you know firsthand, you don't mess with the cerebral assassin and talk about him and not get away with it. And it looks like CM Punk's about to know firsthand at Night of Champions. However, CM Punk threw Triple H at the curveball. He said, hey, I agree to your no disqualification match, but I have a stipulation of my own. If I defeat you at Night of Champions, you must step down as the COO of the WWE. Triple H only been in charge since the night after Money in the Bank. That was back in July. So he's been in charge for over a month and a half now. Almost 2 months. If you count, if we get almost to mid-September. I thought Triple H has been doing a pretty good job as COO. And let's not forget, according to reports, he was supposed to make his in-ring return at Survivor Series in November. And speaking of which, tickets do go on sale this coming Saturday for Survivor Series, Madison Square Garden, New York City. So that's pretty huge right there. We all know that The Rock's going to be there. Cena obviously going to be there. I haven't even got to Cena and Del Rio, and I'll get to that momentarily. But Triple H is making his in-ring return a few months early than usual. A few months early. Hey, the more the merrier. And I guess the whole Kevin Nash thing fell through, which is why they say, Triple H, we're going to need you to make your return a little earlier than expected. And Triple H, being the general that he is, he's up for the task. So he'll be facing CM Punk No DQ, Night of Champions. And however, if Punk wins, Triple H must step down as the boss. I call him the boss at this point because, McMahon in the Vince McMahon, I should say, in the background a lot more. He's just stepping aside, letting Triple H run things around here. So, and with Kevin Nash out of the equation for the time being, Triple H and CM Punk can focus on each other and not worry about this 7 foot, 300 plus pound dude. Speaking of CM Punk, there's a lot of talk that CM Punk is on the cover of the WWE magazine issue for October. Very controversial, and according to WWE officials, this was the issue that they were told not to release. I'm assuming Vince McMahon did not want this article to be released because CM Punk, the way he's been acting as of late, he has no filter. He has the pipe bomb. If you think his pipe bombs on Raw and SmackDown any indication, just imagine the pipe bombs he dropped when he was asked certain questions about certain people in the interview, if you really think about it. So CM Punk, October issue, WWE magazine, that's coming out. And we got Welcome to the Paper Cut. I'm assuming that it's Raven. What's going on, man? Welcome back. Welcome back, Raven. But on to some other stuff here, because we got an interview with Star Venus, indie pro wrestler from Texas. She's going to be joining us. She's going to be joining us in about the bottom of the hour, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. We're getting some couple of people in here. We got a Moopy Mush. What's going on, Moopy? And if you don't like that name, you can just click on your name in the chat room. And you can just change it. You can even change the icon of your next to your name in the chat room as well. Just click on your name, like Raven did, obviously, and you can change your name just like that. You can also come up with a cool icon, like Wanagate did. He's out there with the Wanagate Radio logo there. Johnny Hood, hey Johnny Hood, how you doing, man? Good to hear from you. Johnny Hood, former host of Sports World Radio. Not sure if you heard or not, Johnny, but Jeff had a power outage, which is why there was no show. And I had to fill in for him. And he also co-hosts with me on this wrestling show, and we're in the wrestling show right now. So I thought I'd let you know, since you're just getting into the chat room. So I thought I'd let you know. Johnny Hood in the building. What's good, Jay Hood? He's in Tennessee now. Oh, okay. I thought you was in Illinois or somewhere. I could be wrong. But I see you in Tennessee now. Yeah. Everybody back in San Diego is out. So I'm doing this show on my own. Jeff normally co-hosts with me, but he's not because of the outage show. And to have the electricity go out on the night of the season opener of the NFL, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. If you're a football fan and the voltage and the outage, you had a power outage, sucks. It really sucks. I tell you that right now. So, on to the next topic. The Miz and R-Truth. Probably the most unlikely tag team right now. They feel there is a conspiracy. Now, R-Truth started this conspiracy talk. And now Miz somehow, some way, has agreed about this conspiracy. And they taking shots at Triple H. Felt that they're not getting enough airtime. They're not getting them the respect that they deserve. So they decided to take matters in their own hands and have decided that they will be facing Air Boom, that's Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston, for the tag team titles. You're welcome, Juan. You're welcome, man. I've been doing this wrestling show since late April. I've always wanted to do a wrestling show before Chillin', but Chillin' came first and went to where it is today. So I said at some point I'm going to get this wrestling show done. And I'm doing it, man. I'm doing the wrestling show. It's great. It's absolutely great. Now on to the WWE title picture. John Cena is facing Alberto Del Rio for the belt. And one again, if you haven't been watching WWE for the last few months, you've missed out, man. There's this guy named CM Punk. I'm not sure if you heard of him or not, but he has been causing a storm in the WWE. People are calling him the next Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kind of the anti-hero, the rebel, speak his mind, say whatever he wants to say. No. This show, very cool. I thought this show was hosted by Daniel from Scotland. No. Hosted by Jeff and myself. We are both huge wrestling fans. Warner Gay has been actually keeping in touch with the WWE a little bit. He said the last time he saw when Punk beat Cena, I'm guessing you're referring to SummerSlam and Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank in July, SummerSlam in August. Now the champion's coming up. So right now the WWE champion is Alberto Del Rio, this Mexican aristocrat. Now Cena finally defeated CM Punk to earn the shot at the WWE title. Cena is going after Del Rio at all costs. Hello, honey dumplings, and welcome to the show. Star Venus will be calling in 11 minutes. She's going to be calling in 11 minutes, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. So I just thought I'd let you know on the Star Venus interview. It will happen. She's going to call in at the bottom of the hour, but nonetheless, we welcome you to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And welcome to the show. I found this article on Edge. Rated R superstar, former WWE superstar. He was interviewed on the Miami Herald, and he talked about the WWE, and he revealed on this article on the Miami Herald that he really doesn't watch the WWE that much. It has nothing to do with busy time or anything like that. He said the reason that he's not watching it is because of he's burnt out of it. I mean, of course, Edge was forced to end his career, because of the injuries he had, the neck injuries especially. So, Edge, I'm going to read some quotes from Edge. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this. Again, Star Venus, indie pro wrestler from Texas, will be calling in at the bottom of the hour. Obviously, I do. Wanagay says, you always get great looking guests. I guess you could say that, Juan. Hey, all the guests I have had, female especially, all beautiful. And they have a good personality as well. So, it's all good. It's all good, man. So, this is the article from Edge on the Miami Herald. Former World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion Edge, recently interviewed by the Miami Herald, And in this interview, he states he doesn't watch WWE programming anymore, citing that he was burnt out. This is a quote from Edge. I don't watch, actually, because I kind of burnt out of it. It was weird because from the pay-per-view in Tampa, I flew right up to Haven, which is referring to the TV show that he's on Sci-Fi. I was pretty much up there all summer, and all the way the schedule was it didn't leave a whole lot of TV watching time, except on the weekends. And WWE is not on TV on the weekends, unless you want to call it pay-per-view on the weekends. So I did outdoor stuff, and that's pretty much it. So most of the summer, I've been away for TV. Right now, I don't have the urge to watch. I was at the SummerSlam pay-per-view that night, and I only watched Christian's match. That's what I've been doing. Just cashing up his stuff and leaving at that. It's not that I hate wrestling or anything like that. I think I'm burnt out because I can't do it. So I've taken a break from it. When I was in LA for SummerSlam, I was like, okay, I'm not going to watch the show. I'm not going to be this close to it and not be able to do it because I don't like how I'm going to react. I'm sure there's going to come to a point of time where I'll be like, all right, let's sit down, watch one, and see how it goes. That was a quote from the Rated R superstar Edge, saying that he doesn't watch WWE a lot because he's burnt out of it. It's understandable. I mean, the man was told by doctors that he can't wrestle anymore. Okay, and when you are as passionate as Edge is, he is so passionate about this. This is what he loved. This is what he grew up on. I keep hearing Edge when he said he was at WrestleMania at Toronto, Canada, between Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. He was there. He was a fan. He became part of the WWE as a wrestler. Started off tag teaming, and then he became a singles competitor. He's been wrestling since he was a kid. But then came the early 2000, he suffered that neck injury, and he knew his career was on thin ice. So he just did the best that he could until doctors just told him, hey, you can't wrestle anymore. So I can understand that he doesn't want to watch it because he's burnt out. He's afraid he's going to get that itch to come back, and he knows he can't come back because of the injuries. So I'm not mad at Edge for saying what he feels. If that's what he feels, that's what he feels. And I respect Edge a lot more because at least he admits that you could just tell from that interview he still wants to wrestle, but he know he can't. He can't wrestle anymore. He can't be physically involved anymore. He has to watch it for the rest of his life. Now we know Edge is going to be a future Hall of Famer. It's just a matter of when. He may be inducted next year. Who knows? But Edge, it's not like he and WWE ended up on bad terms. They are good. They are on good terms. Everything is mutual between Edge and the WWE. It's just that he was told by the doctors, hey, you can't compete anymore. You're done. Which is why he's focusing on his Haven show, which you could check out on Sci-Fi on Friday nights at 10 o'clock, right after SmackDown. Couple of matches has been added. Beth Phoenix and Kelly Kelly gonna have their rematch. Gotta talk about the ladies a little bit. And speaking of the ladies, there was a lot of controversy surrounding an article by Katie Raymond of WWE.com this past Sunday, saying that Beth Phoenix and Natalya, aka the Divas of Doom, are the salvation. They are the Divas of Salvation. They want to save the division from the booty popping, face stinking Divas division, referring to the likes of Eve, the Bella Twins, and the champion herself, Kelly Kelly. Now, there was a follow-up to the story, and all four ladies that I've mentioned not very pleased with the article. They talk about how hard they've been working. They giving it 110% every night, whatever it is that they're doing. And let's not forget, Beth Phoenix just came back from an injury, you know, almost a year ago. So she just starting to get the feel the move back to wrestle again. And Natalia, she's trying to find her place other than being, part of the Hart family. The Hart dynasty are no more, so she's trying to find her place. And she was trying to be the mentor to AJ and Caitlyn on SmackDown, but obviously that led to the Divas of Doom joining forces. I would like this Diva of Doom idea if they were both on the same brand, but obviously Beth Phoenix is on Raw, Natalia is on SmackDown. Now, I respect Eve, Kelly, and the Bellas defending themselves. That's all they can do. And I guess WWE gets a lot of flack for getting wrestlers that looks like models that don't have a lot of wrestling experience. Kelly, I keep saying this, has improved as a wrestler. She's come a long way. She ain't the champion by accident. She's worked hard. She paid her dues. And she had a great match at SummerSlam against Beth Phoenix. And Eve is a two-time Divas champion. One of the Bella twins is a former Divas champion. So, if they really want to be the salvation of the Divas, referring to Beth and Natalia, then it starts at Night of Champions when Beth Phoenix, in her hometown of Buffalo, New York, goes up against Kelly for the gold. Now, last time, I think Beth Phoenix underestimated her, and it cost her the match. But you can bet that Beth Phoenix has learned she's not going to underestimate this time. She's going to be focused at hand, and that she's going to be ready for Night of Champions. Homecoming, let's not forget she is the real-life girlfriend of CM Punk. And after what happened with Punk with his homecoming against Cena in Chicago, Money in the Bank, you know that Beth Phoenix is going to expect the same result. Will she get the same ovation? It's going to be loud, but not as loud as Chicago. But Beth Phoenix, she'll be ready. She'll be good to go. So I thought I'd mention the Divas there real quick. Star Venus special guest going to be calling in momentarily. And coming up a little bit later on the show, we're going to talk about some Impact. Yes, Beth Phoenix and CM Punk are a real-life couple. And the special guest is calling in right now. Let me go ahead and add her to the conference here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined with an indie pro wrestler from Texas. Her name is Star Venus. That's Star with two R's, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Star.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing real good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just staying busy, like always.
That is good. And I do want to say thank you for joining me on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio this evening, despite it being the season opener.
No problem. It's great to be here. I know it's football season. I know I have my fantasy football league set up as well, but hey, still always fun, and I'm always willing to do an interview.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So Star, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how's your wrestling career got started?
All right, well, as you all know, or as at least how everybody should know, my name is Star. I've been wrestling for the past 3 years now. Been in the business since 2006. I started back in my hometown of El Paso, Texas. Of course, just like anybody else, I've always been a fan of it ever since I was little. I used to go to all the Lucha Libre shows back in Mexico, in Juarez, where I grew up. I would go to all the lucha shows, especially see my favorite, Tinieblas. I got involved in it my senior year in high school. I actually just wanted to be a ring girl, and I talked to the promoter, and he saw that I had pink hair and my piercings and my tattoos, and he's like, "You don't look like a ring girl." So he put me in as a valet, started valeting one of the main eventers there, and just started being involved with the shows. After that, I moved to San Antonio for college, and that's where I actually started training and just started to be involved as much as I can and started training and learning more until I finally started actually wrestling and having my own wrestling matches 3 years ago. So, and that's all history from there.
Now,
And here I am today.
now, Star, I do want to ask you this. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and it was a video of Taz, former ECW WWE wrestler, now commentator for Impact. You was trained by Taz. What was that like?
Yes, I had the pleasure of being the first female to be part of the Team Taz Dojo. I was back in February, and it was a week-long experience where we got our skills fine-tuned by Taz personally. It was only 6 students, I believe, out of 300 applicants, and I had the pleasure and honor to be picked not only as a student, but as the first female wrestler to ever train at his dojo. I learned so much from him, and I encourage any wrestler to definitely apply. If you have another how he calls it finishing school coming up in October, and what I learned from there is more than I learned in my whole lifetime so far. So definitely a very good experience, and I recommend it to everybody.
And I gotta say, Taz is one of my favorite wrestlers turned commentators. He has become a hilarious commentator. You know, this
He
lady.
is.
He from WWE to Impact. He is on point. Just that entertaining. So Taz is great. He is truly great.
Definitely.
Now, Star, you're from Texas, and a few weeks ago we had an interview with a fellow Texan by the name of Barbie Hayden. Are you familiar with that name?
Yes, I am. I actually have faced her in a match before.
What was it like competing with against her or teaming up with her?
It was a good experience overall. We had a good match. I know the match was available on YouTube for a little while. I think it got taken down now. It was my first time wrestling with Barbie, and she's an up and comer. I know she's pretty good. I know she's always room for improvement for everybody, but I think she has lots of potential. She's definitely on the right pace to get better, and I'd love to work with her again. Hopefully I will get to in the near future, but definitely a good match, and definitely even for the fans, I know they will definitely enjoy it if me and Barbie Hayden ever meet up again, so hopefully we will down the road.
Excellent. Now, who were your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Of course, Bret Hart. He's my favorite of all time. In fourth grade, I would always get people would always tell me that I look like I could be Bret Hart's daughter. I think it's just the curly, stringy hair, and my favorite colors are pink and black. A lot of my style and moves are definitely influenced by Bret Hart. He is definitely my all-time favorite. Liked him ever since I was little. Of course, I actually like Goldberg as well. And my favorite luchador was Tinieblas, and it was pretty cool because I took a picture with him when I was 6 years old, and last year I took a picture with his son, so it was a big comparison and kind of cool to have two pictures with two generations of really big, famous luchadors from Mexico. So
Great choice. Bret the Hitman Hart, excellence of
yeah,
execution, Hall of Famer, all the
of course, the
accolades.
pink and black attack.
I mean, he is the only wrestler I can recall, a male that can wear pink and look cool doing it. No one,
Right? Yeah.
no other wrestler who wears pink can get away with it. But Bret Hart, with the pink and black, he can get away with it. He's just that good. Um,
Yeah.
got a question in the chat room from my good friend Renegade, and he wants to know: do you have a website or do you have any other social network links?
Yes, of course I do. I'm very big Twitter fan, and you can follow me at Paloma Star. That's PalomaStarr. And I also have a Facebook as well. It's facebook.com / The Wrestling Star with two R's.
Yeah, and then don't forget, people, Star with two R's.
Yep, Star with two R's. Definitely, that's me.
So,
And I also have a fan page too, but it's on my Facebook, so you can find it that way.
so my next question for you, Star, is what's your thoughts on the divas and the knockouts? Comparing the two, what's your take on both of them and what they do? And there's a lot of great talent in the indie, but they don't get a lot of recognition because not on TV a lot. But what's your take on the divas division and the knockouts division?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because that is the subject that I'm definitely passionate about. Actually, I actually did a 40-page scholarly research project on this subject as well. It was called "The Media Perception of Women Pro Wrestlers in the Media Today." I just recently graduated from college. I did get to present my research on the views and the way that women wrestlers, the knockouts and divas, are portrayed today in the media. So I definitely have a lot of insight on that, not only being a professional wrestler myself, but also the scholarly side of it. But my own personal opinion is that, of course, just like everybody else, I don't believe they are being used the proper way, and the way they are perceived is definitely different from what the potential can be. But I think it's just the society as a whole, and the whole media saturation definitely has to do a lot with that. I mean, they can't put on a straight-up wrestling match between Natalia and Beth Phoenix with their definitely highlighting their talents because, I mean, it's sad, but that's not what people want to see. I mean, of course, you have your niche clients and your niche fans that do want to see a straight wrestling match, that do want to see women as wrestlers, not just as divas and eye candies and knockouts. But, of course, WWE appeals to the masses rather than appealing to the niche or how everybody calls it, the internet fans. They have to appeal for what's better for, unfortunately, for business. But I definitely feel that WWE is kind of making good strides towards it, especially teaming up Natalia and Beth Phoenix, which I definitely are one of my favorites. But of course, you still have like the Kelly Kellys and the more eye candy stuff. But I definitely, hopefully, in the future, they'll definitely take the approach that such great federations such as Shimmer and all women federations take, seeing their women as athletes and wrestlers rather than just eye candy. But hopefully, I think good strides are in the future, and there's always room for improvement for both. And hopefully, whenever I get signed with either company, I will change the view on everybody for that.
Oh, you definitely
Sorry,
can
I
change.
talk a lot.
No, it's
I'm
okay. It's okay. It's okay. We open the floor to all our guests, no matter what. The at least for the WWE side, they're getting a lot of attention because of Beth Phoenix and Natalia joining forces against, I guess
Yes,
you can call it the eye candy. But
right.
I will give Kelly this. She is trying. She is improved. It's been a long time coming for her. Went from the dancing girl on ECW up to now. I mean, she's come a long way, but there is room for improvement on both WWE and Impact, and
Exactly.
so we'll just see how it goes, especially with Night of Champions coming up. Now, is there any women wrestlers or just wrestlers in general that you would like to have a dream match against or team it up with?
Yes. Mischief. I would love to wrestle Mischief. I have studied her work for many years, and I could definitely relate to her. She is a microgenetic scientist, like during the day, and a awesome wrestler. Like that's her other persona, and I definitely could relate to that because I'm a big scholarly person. I graduate top 2% of my class. I'm way into school, but of course you have my wrestling side, and not only that, but Mischief is so talented and does everything so good. I almost don't think that I'm even worthy to have a match with her, but I think every match that I wrestle, I get better and better each day to hopefully one day have a dream match against Mischief. I think that'd be a great match.
Mischief, just a pure talent, very
Yeah.
unorthodox in her style and everything, which kind of leads to my next question. How would you describe your wrestling style? You technical, you focus on submissions, you're a brawler. How would you describe your wrestling style?
I think I don't want to say a little bit of everything, but I definitely do focus more on my technical style. I really would want to improve on that and be as technically sound, thus my favorite wrestler, Bret Hart, as I could be. I really like definitely the brawler side, and always want to tie in some Japanese style of wrestling with me. I'm very hard hitting, fast, and definitely always want to use my strong side. So I would say strong style mixed with a little bit of Japanese and technical, and a little bit of lucha here and there.
Okay. And I got another quote from my good friend Renegade. I'm not sure if this is your finishing move or not, but I guess he has a suggestion. You should call it the Stargasm.
Ooh, I use that as one of my spinning neck breakers. I'd call it the Stargasm. It's like the Shannon Moore neck breaker. I totally ripped it off from him. But yeah, that's a very good suggestion. Thank you for that. I already use it. My finisher is the Unprettier, the one that Christian uses, and I call it the Black Dahlia.
That's cool. Now, do you have any upcoming matches?
I actually do. I'm scheduled to appear in IZW in Lawton, Oklahoma, September 17th. I do believe that's an iPay-per-view. That's the company's first iPay-per-view as well as my first iPay-per-view, which I am pretty excited about. Also, October 8th, I'm going to Las Cruces, New Mexico to wrestle there. That was just confirmed today that I'm very excited about since my hometown of El Paso is just 45 minutes away. As well as there's a lot of doors opening up for me. I have gotten in many federations showing interest in me from Oregon to Memphis to the East Coast to Florida. So definitely spreading my wings and trying to go all over, just like I put up with my status a few days ago. I'm taking over the country one wrestling match at a time.
I like your attitude. Good approach. For those who are just joining us on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, we are live, and I am joined with Star Venus out of Texas, indie pro wrestler. She's joining us.
Hi, everybody again.
Now, Star, before we end this interview, and I want to ask you to do what is called a station ID. All I want you to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Sure thing. I could definitely do that.
All right, go right ahead.
Hey, guys. Go ahead. Hey, guys. This is Star, and you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Did I even say that right?
Yeah, she did.
I probably didn't.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
You were perfect. You were perfect. Facebook, Twitter, check her out. Remember the name Star Venus, Star with 2 R's. I'm gonna keep saying it because people be like, when people name themselves Star, it's like 1 R, but there's wrestlers with stars with the 2 R's in it. So I'm gonna keep saying it so that people understand this talented lady on the phone line with me, and she's going places. Star, good pleasure talking to you. Best of success goes out to you. You know I'm gonna tweet with you more often. Thank you for your time, and I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And you have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure. It was fun, and I'll see everybody else out in the Twitter world.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. That was Star Venus from indie pro wrestler out of Texas. And yes, Renegade, to this day, I still do the voice drops. I still do the voice drops. Yes, I do. Hope y'all enjoy that interview. She's a very nice girl. A lot of things in store for Star Venus. Now, before we get to the TNA/Impact, I want to get to this segment that I like to do every week. Give y'all a history lesson. So we're going to get to it. This day in wrestling history. This day in wrestling history on September 8th. Check this out. 2004 on September the 8th, TNA hold its final weekly pay-per-view before sticking to Sundays. In 2007, Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch defeated Paul London and Paul London and Brian Kendrick to win the WWE Tag Team titles. May Lance Cade rest in peace, of a Texan out there. Happy birthday to one-time WCW World Champion and Dancing with the Star contestant David Arquette turns 40 years old. Former WCW wrestler Lottie, 41 years old. NWA Tag Team Champion Rick Michaels, no relation to Shawn Michaels. Two-time ECW and one-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion Raven. Remember him? Quote the Raven, nevermore. He turns 47 years old. And one-time AJPW Unified Tag Team Champion, innovator of the Asian Mist, the Great Kabuki, turns 63. In memoriam on September the 8th, 1999, former ECW and WCW referee Brian Mark Curtis Hibelin passed away at 37, having lost his battle with stomach and bowel cancer. Hibelin was diagnosed with the cancer back in 1997, but continuing his work for WCW, having had unsuccessful surgery to remove the cancer. His most famous moment came in 1997 when he tackled a fan who was attempting to invade the ring, put him in a guillotine chokehold, prompting announcer Bobby the Brain Heenan to say the famous line, "The smallest referee in the world just took him down." And that's all that happened this day in wrestling history on September the 8th. Football update: Saints, Packers, 0, no score. Let's go ahead and get to the Impact portion of the show. Again, I appreciate Star Venus for calling in. I want to talk about a couple of people, starting with Kurt Angle. He's now part of TNA/Impact. He got in trouble this past Labor Day weekend. He got busted for DWI. It's funny. Matt Hardy was busted for DWI a few weeks ago, and what happened to him? He got cut. Kurt Angle, same thing, DWI. You know what happened to Kurt Angle? He gets a 3-year extension to stay in TNA. Talk about double standard and some BS, perhaps? I mean, there's a reason why WWE let these guys go many years ago. They had baggage. Kurt Angle, Matt Hardy, baggage, drama. No reason why they on Impact. They have become the Oakland Raiders of professional wrestling. They got superstars with a lot of baggage, and WWE let them go before they can ruin their company, I guess. I don't know. But Kurt Angle has signed a 3-year to stay in Impact, to stay in TNA. Kurt Angle is currently the heavyweight champion of the world, but you got to think he's going to be punished by Impact. He's going to be punished by losing that belt at some point. If you're going to punish Matt Hardy, if you're not going to release Kurt Angle, the least you can do is strip him of the championship. I mean, you are a company, right? And when one of your top superstars get busted like that, you gotta make an example out of him. Even if it means stripping him of the title, do something. And speaking of superstars with a lot of baggage, Jeff Hardy, that's Matt Hardy's brother, he is making his return to Impact tonight. And this comes days before the No Surrender pay-per-view. So wonder what Jeff Hardy's going to say, what he's going to feel. I mean, this is Jeff Hardy's first televised appearance in many months in Impact. I mean, but not long before Jeff Hardy had to take care of some personal issues of his own. I have a story here on Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy finally had his day in court for his drug charges actually means something. Hardy pled guilty to 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver a controlled substance and a single count of conspiracy to traffic in a substance containing, all felonies pending from his September the 11th, 2009 arrest. All other counts were dropped. Hardy will spend 10 days in jail, 30 months in probation, has to pay a $100,000 fine. He will still be allowed to travel with TNA. Yeah, he'll still be allowed to travel with TNA before he has to go to jail. So, and Jeff Hardy, he's just been on and off. He's like a switch outside the ring. He is so amazing in the ring doing these high flying maneuvers, and yet we forget that these wrestlers are just like the rest of us. They're human beings. They are human beings. They get in trouble too. They got warnings with the law. You know, not everything outside the ring is all good. Jeff Hardy has a rap record, and not all of it is good. It's not necessarily him winning championships in WWE and Impact. The man has a problem. Now, he's been away from Impact for several months just so he can mentally get his life in check. He's like the Charlie Sheen of wrestling. You know, he does crazy things. He gets himself in trouble. Yet, because of he's a good talent, you know, people let him slide. And this is Jeff Hardy's second term with TNA. I mean, Jeff Hardy has had troubles with Impact before. He's had troubles with WWE as well. WWE tried to straighten him out, but then things just didn't work out. Went in separate ways. Then he came back. So he went with WWE, got released, go to Impact, come back to WWE, and now he's part of Impact. So he's kind of back and forth with the two companies. Again, set an example of your talent, TNA. Don't let them just get in trouble and not be punished for it. Now, you let go of Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy is a lot worse than what he is right now. Kurt Angle, because he's your top superstar at the moment, because he does have the belt, he gets a pass, you know, but Impact got to do some sort of punishment, suspend him or something. Or I guess if they're going to suspend him, they probably will suspend him just in time, just right after, they probably going to suspend him right after No Surrender pay-per-view. Which kind of leads to the final segment of the day. And Wanagay, since you are a first-time listener on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, this is what I do every Thursdays before WWE and TNA pay-per-view. I do what is called a pay-per-view pick'em. This Sunday will be the pay-per-view for Impact called No Surrender. And what a coincidence that it's on 9/11. I think it's an appropriate title for a pay-per-view, because that's what us Americans have to deal with. We don't surrender. We fall down, but we keep getting back up. The name of the pay-per-view is called No Surrender, and that will be on pay-per-view this Sunday night, right after the football festivities. So what I'm about to do, as soon as I get to this here, we're gonna go ahead and get to the No Surrender pay-per-view pick'em. I'm gonna go match by match. I'll give you my picks and who I think's gonna win the match. Now, finally, I can get to this. At the moment, there's only 5 matches scheduled for the No Surrender pay-per-view. So let's get to it. Brian Kendrick versus Austin Aries For the X Division title, I'm going with Brian Kendrick. Matt Morgan versus Samoa Joe. I'm going with Samoa Joe. Now let's get to what people really are talking about in No Surrender. The Bound for Glory series is now narrowed to 4 men. Bully Ray versus James Storm and Bobby Roode versus Garner. Now hear me out here. The winner of this Bound for Glory Final Four tournament at No Surrender is going to be the number 1 contender for the Impact Heavyweight Championship at the October pay-per-view Bound for Glory. They've been doing this Bound for Glory series for throughout the summer, and it's now down to the Final Four. So here are my picks for the Bound for Glory Final Four. Bully Ray versus James Storm. I'm going to go with James Storm to win that match over Bully Ray. Bobby Roode versus Gunner. I'm going to go with Gunner to win the match. And then Gunner versus James Storm. I'm going to go with Gunner to win the Bound for Glory series. I mean, he is one of Impact's newest superstars on the rise. He's going places. He's part of Immortal Hulk Hogan's stable. I say Gunner is going to be the winner of the Final Four. So those are my very short edition of pay-per-view pick'em, and we're going to recap. And we're going to recap No Surrender next Thursday's show on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Hopefully Jeff will have his power outage taken care of by tomorrow for the Rap Bastard Sports Show. Don't forget former guest Amber O'Neal, 3-Way with Fire and Ice, hosted by Amber O'Neal and Angel Orsini. That's on tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on PW247radio.com. Special guests will be Tommy Dreamer and Shelly Martinez. This coming Saturday, chilling with Jeff and Kenny C on 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Model Kelly Cabana will be our guest on that show. And Renegade, since he's here, he's on Monday nights, Renegade Radio at 8 to 10 Eastern, Blog Talk Radio. And who knows, you may be hearing Renegade in the ITMI Radio in the future. Gotta reach out to Chaos though, to make that happen. I will let Chaos know that you have interest in one to be on ITMI Radio, simulcast at least, because I simulcast chilling on Ustream, chillingbroadcasting.com, and here on ITMI. So alright, that's it. We are done. It's 9 o'clock. Impact is on. The wrestling football game is on. About to turn my TV to it. Thank you, one. Thank you to Star Venus. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me for the last 90 minutes with the Rap Bastard Sports Show and Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. And I believe Green Bay is on the scoreboard, damn it. Green Bay is now up 7-0. That's your final scoring update. Alright, I'm done. You all have a good evening. See you this Saturday at Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. See you next Thursday right here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You all have a good night. Just as soon as that encoder decides to close. Good night, everybody. Peace out.